So, Glenn, was this a failure of foreign policy on Australia's part?
Janie, I don't believe so. A lot's been made of that, but Australia has been actively involved in the Solomons in the strategic space for a long time. We led the regional assistance mission in the Solomon Islands. We've been providing aid packages and security packages to the Solomons for a long time. Prime Minister Sogov RA hasn't always been a big supporter of Australia's involvement in the Solomons. So look, I think he was intent on having some sort of engagement with China for some time. Mind you, back in 2001, the Solomons tried to engage with Taiwan in a security training package, and Australia intervened to stop that. So there's a bit of give and take here, I think, over the years, but I don't believe it's been a manifest foreign policy failure on Australia's part. I think it was inevitable, and China has been actively trying to get other Pacific states on board this sort of a strategic arrangement.
Let's talk about Ukraine. Russia has claimed victory in Mariupol, but has Ukraine conceded that?
There's been no concession that we've seen yet. There are still elements of a Ukrainian Marine battalion in the Azovstal steel facility, along with hundreds of civilians. So I don't believe Ukraine has conceded defeat there. Putin has said that whilst they're claiming victory in Mariupol, he has said that he's not going to maintain any attack on the Azovstal steel plant. So I believe he's trying to protect that infrastructure for his own use. So at the end of the day, Russia is claiming that land bridge now between Crimea and the Donbass region, which of course requires Mariupol. I think it's inevitable that Mariupol will fall if it hasn't already fallen to the Russians. I think the Ukrainians are just holding out a last possible defence.
We're certainly hearing reports at the moment around 100,000 people are trapped in Mariupol and desperately needing the UN's help. What are the implications for Russia if this ends up as a war of attrition and they start to lose many more tanks and troops?
That's a very good point, Janie. This is where the Ukrainian forces are running a very good rolling defence. They were defeated in Crimea, which is 300 kilometres northeast of Mariupol. So Ukrainians rolled back and to the west and dug in to try and now draw the Russians west. Now, if the Russians are to chase the Ukrainians west out of the Donbass region and indeed out of Crimea or out of Mariupol, they're going to end up in fighting against a well-dug-in, well-supported Ukrainian force, which, as you say, will result in a war of attrition. And Russia can't afford to be losing lots of tanks, lots of troops, after having been defeated pretty significantly north of Kyiv. I don't think Russia wants to be dragged into this war of attrition. So I suspect they will want to settle around that eastern flank and not continue to engage Ukrainian forces as the Ukrainians run this rolling defence towards the west.
All right, and Glenn, on a personal note, what will you be doing to commemorate Anzac Day on Monday?
Big day, Janie, on Anzac Day. Starting with a dawn service at Corrimal near Wollongong, and then emceeing an Anzac event at the Gerringong Bolo, and then it's off to the Anzac round, the Dragons Roosters game at the STG, which of course, as you and I have discussed, the Dragons are bound to win.
Yes, good luck with that. Bit of two up. You might win in a bit of two up, but I think the Roosters are going to win. But thank you very much. It's going to be nice to see everybody out and about after, we've seen a couple of years indoors with commemorations. But thank you very much, Glenn Kolomeitz. Really appreciate your time and expertise.
Thanks, Janie.